seems like every 5 minutes there's an update regarding this attempted assassination of Donald Trump. And you can find this information coming at you all over the place, and it can be very overwhelming. And of course, we're getting stuff about the person who was involved and everything else they might have done beforehand. And then we also have these different things coming out about a possible Iranian assassination plot. And then we also have the security issue where the Secret Service was either incompetent or the incompetence was weaponized. Who knows, right? There's a lot of things coming out, and you can lose focus on your preparedness by deep diving into every single facet of what's being presented to you right now. But there is one thing that you should take away from this particular event that you can apply to your preparedness and build an understanding as to how high the risk level will be if we ever find ourselves in a situation where things get even more dangerous than they are right now. And in all honesty, based on what just happened and what could have happened had things been different, we're looking at a very dangerous future here in this country. The way things are going, I'm not very optimistic about it, right? So there is one takeaway that you need to digest and then apply to all of your plans here moving forward, especially when it comes to personal security. Now, I do want to mention that Midway USA is the biggest supporter of the channel, and thanks to them, I can provide you with information like this, give you things to consider when it comes to preparedness. And of course, they have gear and equipment and everything else that I can try out and let you know about in order to help us all be better prepared. So big thanks to Midway USA. Now, the one takeaway from this event that everyone should be considering as just a human being, right, is that if somebody is set on removing you from the equation, if their goal is to get rid of you, and for whatever reason that might be, maybe it's your political affiliations or perceived political affiliations, right? Based on our current landscape, that's a reasonable concern. But it could just be the fact that during an emergency, you have something somebody else wants, or there are things that you would not allow to occur that other people want to be able to partake in. Who knows, right? So if you ever find yourself a target, for any reason, you need to understand that if someone else is set on removing you from the face of the earth, they always will have the advantage. And in most situations, there's barely anything you can do about it. And what we just learned from this particular scenario is that even with a highly trained team of security experts, supposedly, they still are at a disadvantage. The person who wants to commit the crime is always at the advantage of having the element of surprise. And without apparently extreme amounts of luck or divine intervention, there's not very much you can do about it. I mean, that's just the truth. And you should understand that now, especially after witnessing everything that just happened, that if somebody's dead set on removing you from the equation, there is not a lot you can do about it. And I mean, we're in a world right now where, who knows, there might be reasons for why somebody decides they need to do that against you, right? And so right now, one of my main focuses is to ensure that I have personal security front and center when it comes to my mindset, and that I'm applying all of the principles and using the equipment that I have access to in order to provide myself the best possible chance of surviving that level of encounter. Now, you still might not survive. If somebody's dead set on getting rid of you, I mean, there is not much you can do, right? As we just saw. Even with a full security team of experts, I'm saying these words lightly, apparently, this person was able to pull off an attack. Their target got extremely lucky or had some divine intervention, making it so that they missed, which is just a miracle when it comes to what would have happened thereafter had the opposite occurred. I mean, our country is in a better state today than it would have been 100%. That's just my belief. So, listen, throw in some extra precaution. Add it to your preparedness repertoire, right? Make sure your everyday carry has what you need in order to survive something if it were to happen to you. Just because someone's famous and just because somebody has a platform doesn't mean they're the only person that someone might be willing to target. And you really should be considering that at this point in time. And having access to self-defense, having access to first aid, and possibly, depending on your environment or where you might be going, concealable armor and things of that nature might be a good idea. These are all things that you should be thinking about right now. We have such a disadvantage the second somebody decides that you need to go. I mean, you don't know that, only they do. So the only thing you can do is have the best possible chance at your disposal when it comes to your training and the equipment that you have. And that's about it. And so if you're not proficient in self-defense, you should get some training. If you're not proficient in first aid, you should get some training. If you don't have the equipment to either protect yourself in the sense of getting rid of a combatant or protect yourself in the sense of making your body a little bit more of a hardened target, those are things I would be considering right now. We can deep dive into the information surrounding the attack as far as we want to go, and it can get real deep, trust me on that. But the reality is that we should be learning from this situation and applying it to our preparedness in order to progress, and that's what we need to do. So, thought this would be a good conversation to have. Let me know your thoughts down below. Honestly, I mean, feel free to go at it in the comments, but what do you think happened, right? It's going to be it for Magic Prepper.